What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? In the place to be, man. Hope everybody's doing all right. Start over. Ain't like that. Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Hope everybody's doing good. This is something a little different. This is our interview series for the Power Conference. All right, if you guys watch our show every Friday, y'all usually see me on Sticks and Stones. So you guys will see the Sticks and Stones crew interviewing and doing promo for our Power Conference every week. So this was Sticks and Stones. I'll do it something like this. I'll say, it's your boy, Chips Ahoy, Almond Joy, Checkerboy Floyd, in the place to be. Everybody, hope y'all doing good. This is a beautiful day here in the city of St. Louis. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in our first guest. Okay, our first guest is the illustrious, the great, the very intelligent person. Y'all seen him preaching. You guys might have seen him walking in the aisles if y'all watch our live stream. This is Pastor Jerome Farquharson. Pastor Farquharson, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Brother Tim. Good to be here and good to talk on a very important topic that we have for today. So excited.
Yes, sir. It's good to have you. Okay, so Pastor Farquharson, there might be some that don't know who you are. Could you please give us a small introduction and tell us about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I am a native of Nassau, Bahamas. I have been part of the Lively Stone family for 20 plus years, starting all the way from our Young People's Department and working with our late Bishop Alfonso Scott, who is my father in the gospel, and now our current leadership, Bishop Lee Scott. I am currently from an educational background. I have a bachelor's and master's in computer science with a master in counseling, and currently doing my doctorate of ministry of theology at Covenant Theological Seminary.
Wow, you stepping heavy, Pastor Farquharson. I don't know. You know, we might have to call somebody else to do this interview. All right. Okay. Hey, so this is a very important track for our conference. This is our servant leadership track, and Pastor Farquharson actually is dealing, like you just heard, his background in counseling. He's dealing with the section of mental health in the church. And Pastor Farquharson, if you would, just deal with that a little bit and tell us, what would you like people to take away from that particular section?
Yeah, sure. Mental health in our community, particularly within the Black church, has long carried a stigma within the culture of our people. If you study and know us historically, when we go all the way back to slavery and even before then, there is what we consider to be a misalignment in terms of how we are able to help deal with our own internal problems. Slavery has created what we consider to be somewhat of a post-traumatic stress within certain communities, and that's been passed on from generation to generation. And we have been taught culturally to help create a certain self-reliance within our own selves and keep our circle of community very small. And historically, we have always looked to the church to help us with a lot of our social issues, as well as our mental issues. And mental health is something that we need to bring forward even more, because I can guarantee you, we all know someone who is suffering from some form of mental illness, or we ourselves have suffered from some form of mental health illness. And there is no shame in being able to say that I am suffering or I need help.
That's very true. Hey, Pastor Farquharson, this question just came to me, all right? So just roll with me a little bit, all right?
Sure, let's go ahead.
Mental health is a health issue, okay? So, in terms of other health issues, Brother Tim got a little weight on him, you know what I'm saying? I got a little girth. And they made gyms and facilities for you to go to and deal with your own health issues. In the field and in the terms of mental health, what does an individual do to work on their own mental health? Sometimes it sounds like mental health is always somebody else's problem to deal with. What is the person supposed to do about their own mental health?
Yeah, sure. Listen, if we go back to Scripture says that God says that has told us we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And as a result of that, sin, when came in, broke a whole lot of faith. And so as a human being ourselves, the way we begin to view ourselves, the way we experience others in life, is often shaped by our experiences, is often shaped around our communities. And so because of that, certain lens views or the way we view ourselves can be a makeup of not just genetics, but it can also be the experiences that you have personally. And so I would say that anyone who really begins to look at themselves, number one, should understand that they should value who they are, and really begin to say that self-help, self-care is always important. You know, you mentioned that, you are a big brother. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being big. I think there's a creativity that is in God's design where he's created us to be a cornucopia of people. And so subsequently, just as much as we need to understand how important physical health is, we should also understand that there is a balance between spiritual health and psychological health. We have not really equate all three together. God made us both man, he made us both spirit, and he also made us with a soul. Those three combined together should always be in congruence with each other. There tends to be imbalances sometimes, and just as much as you may think that, some people see themselves physically imbalanced or say, hey, I need to be healthy, it's the same thing with their spiritual life. They will treat it the same way.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right, I can see that. Okay. So I think you kind of took it there. So last week on Sticks and Stones, we had a interesting, slipping up on my words. All right, got to get it together for the doctor. This man is weighty here. All right, I got to get my words together. Last week we had an interesting conversation about appearance. Okay, so how a person looks, and we talked about there was a famous person who saw some people in the airport, and they were looking a mess. Women having bonnets on their head, and could we talk about? Is there some tie to personal appearance? That is there something that we could say? Okay, is that tied to physical or mental health or any type thing? Like, what's the tie of physical appearance and mental health? Is there some kind of correlation there?
Yes, there is always correlation. I think sometimes we tend to create disunity when we approach the way we look. The way we look in terms of how we dress, number one, is always going to be heavily influenced by those around us. And oftentimes, when we look at others, we either want to emulate them because we see something that they have that we really would like to have,
right.
Or we've been taught that what they have is better than what we have. Right. And so what happens is that whenever you start to dress a certain way, it is absolutely a direct connection in terms of how you view yourself. Because if you see yourself not always having to be the best out there, I'll just throw on a pair of jeans or I'll throw a do-rag out when I go out. It does, because ultimately, if I took all of those items off of you and I started to really start talking with you mentally, now I can begin to see that within the own mirror reflection of your behavior and how you're treating yourself is a reflection of how you view yourself. Yeah, and those two are tied. Brain, heart, mind, they're always tied together. So you look at somebody, I use this as a good example. There are some big people, Tim, using your example, who dress extremely well. They carry themselves extremely well. And it's not because they are trying to hide how big they are. It's just trying to show others that how they have a certain self-pride and self-esteem of themselves. And if that's high, then that means that it's going to be represented in everything they do. Not just the clothes, but the way they respond to you, the way they act, the way they interact. So yeah, there's no separation.
Yeah. I appreciate that little compliment. Pastor Parkinson, I had to get it together today. You threw the little compliment, and I'll take the compliment. I really appreciate it. I try to keep my presentation up. I try to do my best. All right, so just one last question for you, sir. Pastor Parkinson. This obviously is a big topic. This is a big thing, a big deal in our community. my question is, if you could speak to every leader individually in your particular field, or even participants, people who want to be involved in helping in mental health, what are something that you would like to share with that one individual?
Oh, that's a very pointed question, Lee. Because Tim, with that, the one thing I would say is that our community, we need more and more professionals. We need more and more of those who are trained. I know oftentimes we are told that we should go after the more higher income jobs, but at the end of the day, all of us have a responsibility to help build our community and help shape it. And there's an old philosophy whereas whenever I move up, I should always reach down and pull up. And so what I say to anyone is that you should always, number one, if you have a heart and a passion for people, then number two, go and get trained and understand what the skill sets are necessary. There is a certain complexity to the human nature and the way God has designed us. And so obviously there is some knowledge that you need to understand about that. But you marry that with your passion, just normally who you are, and you marry that with your spiritual connection. And when you do that, then start connecting to others similarly who's out there, whether it be a psychologist, whether it be a psychiatrist, whether it be a sociologist, whether it be just be a simple counselor, and just start connecting. And so that would be my message to anyone, is if you really have the passion for people, then get what you need to know, because we want to bring certain excellence to what we're doing, particularly, and I think sometimes we accept mediocrity from others. We give it, but then we don't want God to give it to us. And that doesn't work. Because our relationship to God is always going to be shown in a form of excellence, because God is going to always be challenging us. And so therefore, that be the case, then we should reflect that there's a certain excellence in everything we do. And mental health illness is just a symptom. It's not the end result. It is just a symptom of this broken world of which we live in, and we have to deal with it. But God is the ultimate healer. And I believe in that.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Everybody that's watching this, as you can hear from the passion of the professional, this is definitely a serious topic. And what we want you to do is to go to livelystone.org and register for this power conference, okay? We are not just dealing with surface level information here. We're reaching out to professionals in these specific fields. And in this one, it's involving mental health and things that we can do in serving people. Go to livelystone.org, register for the power conference, all right? There's going to be link and information right here below this video. Register for this power conference. You do not want to miss it. You do not want to miss out on this information that can help you help others, okay? Pastor Farkas, I want to say thank you for joining me today. I hope I did all right with my speech, and I hope you know, sometimes you remember writing a paper and had that person writing the red marks over everything that you said wrong. I hope it wasn't too many grammar, and spell check and all that stuff. I hope I did all right today.
No, okay? You did all wonderful. Right. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. There's going to be more interviews coming. I want you guys to check them out, like them, share them, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Thank you, Pastor Fox.
Hey, take care. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.